Hi, my name is Johanna Maynard. I'm also known as Ann Thunderhawk and Ann Cobb Cook. I have decided to take my birth name back of Johanna Maynard in hoping that I could find some of my relatives. The reason I'm here today is I wanted to start talking about the truth about the American Indian movement, about the rapists and murderers who's involved, and about the cover-up and exploitation of our spirituality that continues today. This video is in response to Looking Back Woman, The Truth, where she asked people to come forward with information regarding these rapes and murders and the desecration of our spirituality. The truth is, our looking horse does not have the sacred buffalo calf pipe. He never has. It is well hidden away with a woman where it is supposed to be. In 1994, I was living in Canada. I heard about the birth of the white buffalo in Janesville, Wisconsin. It gave me cold chills. I got on the radio contacts. I got a hold of Dave Verhasselt, who had put the AP wire out. He gave me the number for Dave and Val Hyder down in Janesville, and I drove down there to see the buffalo myself. There I met some Lakotas, one particularly Floyd Hand. I also met Noreen and Paul Smith. Noreen was the director of the Indian Health Board in Minneapolis. I had told Floyd that I was looking for my family. I told him that I was sick and that I was looking for help. He claimed to be a medicine man, and he set it up with Noreen Smith that we would meet in Minneapolis at a hotel, and he would do a doctoring on me, that the Indian Health Board would pay for his hotel as well as mine. And I had invited a photographer down from Canada named Patrick Way, and we shared a room. During one of those nights, I received a call from Floyd. I went down to his room. He said that he wanted to doctor on me. He gave me an herb that looked like a piece of bear root, which at that time I didn't know any of that stuff. Basically what it was a drug. And as he proceeded to start the ceremony, he told me that I would have to take my bra off, that the spirits doesn't like metal. So I did that without taking my top off. And then as the drug started taking effect, he started telling me about the Star Woman prophecies. He started pulling out sacred objects, one he called the Avatar. He told me I was chosen. He had told me that I was supposed to get pregnant by him and have a medicine baby, which during under whatever drug he gave me, it was very confusing. Floyd proceeded to have sex with me. He denies this to this day, but I can tell you through proof, he has an abnormally small penis. I didn't know what to do about it. I talked to Patrick when I got back to the room, and Patrick then informed me that Floyd had a history of improper behavior. Later on, I found out that this is not the way that our ceremonies, healing ceremonies, are to be conducted. And I went back to Canada, came back down to Minneapolis. I attended several sweats and ceremonies at the Indian Health Board, and ended up moving to Minnesota for a while. I made several trips to Pine Ridge to take household items, food, diapers, that we dropped off at Floyd's house, myself and two other doctors. During that time I was at Floyd's, I had a dream about him that scared me so bad. I got my son up and I said, we got to leave, we got to get out of here. Floyd got up and he asked me what I was doing, and I said, I just had a really bad dream about you, I got to go. He said, no, that's just the spirits, they're just playing with you, it's the dark side. Come to find out, I'm not the only one. Then I started doing some research. I found out he has been in prison for rape and battery of a woman. I went to the St. Paul Police Department. They told me, they did a report, which I can list that report number, but little did I know there's a fine border between St. Paul and Minneapolis, and the actual rape incident occurred in Minneapolis at the hotel. Since that time in '94, I was introduced to the major key players of the American Indian movement: Russell Means, Clyde Belcourt, Dennis Banks, Vernon Belcourt, and numerous other people. I think the reason now they took me in to educate me as they saw fit was the fact that I had been adopted and I didn't know anything. These people were aware of my gift. That has been a subject of many conversations because of the murder investigations and missing people that I've been able to find, that I've never charged, nor would I charge for doing that. When the Sweat Lodge death came about at Angel Valley Retreat Center in Arizona, I saw it on CNN with James Arthur Ray, and it just really upset me and saddened me at the exploitation of our spirituality, and that people have to die and think they have to pay to get spirituality when they don't. Myra Hamilton introduced me to Suzanne Dupree. Suzanne started telling me about the American Indian movement, which was totally opposite of what they had told me since '94. I started looking into that. I started praying about it, and she is telling the truth. She's asked people to come forward and bring out the truth. I've been in the homes of many of these AIM leaders, and I know that there's been numerous conversations about the murder of Eneme Aquash and the conspiracy around that. I've had former U.S. Senator James Aberrast's daughter stay at my home. And why, I'm wondering now, has all this stuff been covered up in regards to her family? And Charlie Aberrast, who was present at the house the night before Eneme Aquash was murdered. Something has been covered up here, and the truth needs to be brought out. Many of the people I know on the Pine Ridge and Rosebud Indian Reservation are still traumatized from the '73 occupation at Wounded Knee, which during that time there were 12 people murdered. None of the bodies have ever been recorded. Over a year ago, I ran into Dwayne Martin in Rapid City, South Dakota. He asked me to do something about Floyd Hand, to stop him, and I told him I would try. The next day in Chadron, Nebraska, I ran into Floyd at Walmart, and I told him to stop. I said, if you don't stop, I said, all the truth is going to come out. Floyd had filed a lawsuit against Myra Hamilton. I told him he needed to drop his lawsuit, which he did. But also, as I did my investigation, the Oglala Sioux tribe, 5th member Myron Pullier, had asked me to submit a report. It took a whole ream of paper for that report. But he himself was not man enough to forward it to the FBI with the Oglala Sioux tribal letterhead. He had me do that. As far as Russell Means, back in 2007, I went as far as with the delegation to D.C. for the new Dakota Nation. Russell physically threatened me during that trip. Dwayne Martin had to step in to keep Russell from actually assaulting me. He has no respect. He is also a rapist. Since then, I'd had dreams that were very disturbing. One that woke me up. A few hours later, I got a call, and I was told I was going to get another call of an agency wanting information if I would be able to provide it. The person in my dream was Leonard Peltier. The call was about the murders at Wounded Knee. I've been asked to find the body of Perry Ray Robinson, who was at Wounded Knee and was murdered. What I can tell you from my personal experience and my information, Dennis Banks and Leonard Crowdog were the ones who ordered his execution and murder. They shot him in the knees, they let him bleed out, and then they drug him out a ways, and he is buried there about 3 or 4 feet down in the ground. These murderers and rapists have been able to continue their rampage for years now by exploiting other people as well. I have been to Russell's house when there were boxes and boxes of canned goods all rusted sitting by his back porch when people were out there in the community that I knew were hungry. I went down to Houston, Texas, to Deb Mattingly's. I talked to the Alabama Coshada tribe, which they had given Russell a lot of money to buy heaters for Pine Ridge that never got there. This has been an ongoing thing. Even at the delegation meeting in D.C., Russell received a stack of money and gave it to his wife, Pearl, and she put it in her purse. He left us there on our own to pay our own expenses, which was fine. But a few months later, I think in January, that was in December 2007, in January, AIM had a meeting at the Round Building. Leonard Crowdog was saying that Russell Means is the new leader of AIM. I publicly denounced my connection with the American Indian movement because of the things that I had learned during that time and things that I had seen where people were not getting help. Also during that time, Leonard told me to be prepared that there was a woman coming. He says it wasn't the white buffalo calf pipe woman. And it wasn't until I got to meet Suzanne through Amara Hamilton that I realized that she is the woman he was talking about, who is the protector of the white buffalo calf pipe.